In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the thermostat and housing on this Volkswagen Tiguan. This is going to be located on the side of the engine block. Let's get into it. Using a 7mm socket, take these screws out. On the sides, it's just clipped in right here. You just want to try to pull this out. Pull it off the front. Do the same on the other side. It just pulls out. I'm going to remove these screws. There's a T25 socket. Take that out. On the sides, there's one there, one there, one there. Should be one there. Right there and right there. I'm just going to use a trim tool. You can see where it's clipped in here and on the other side. And just slide it right back. The radiator doesn't have a drain on this vehicle, so we're going to drain the coolant at this pipe right here. Make sure you have a drain bucket underneath. We're going to use, and also make sure the vehicle is cold while you're doing this. Use some hose clamp pliers. Just move the hose clamp down. Just grab the pipe, wiggle it back and forth. And then you're gonna see some coolant drain out. This vehicle, the coolant's already drained, so we don't have any, but just be careful taking this off. Take it off slowly and just let it drain out. I'm going to take this connector off the auxiliary water pump. I'm just going to use a pick, just get underneath the latch right here, pop that off, and using the hose pliers, hose clamp pliers, move the hose clamps. Take those off. I'm going to use a pick. And just get these off with a pick. Makes it easier. And again, there's going to be some coolant, so have a drain bucket. Move that pipe out of the way. And same with this one. Using a 5mm hex socket, we're going to take this bolt out. We'll just take this out of the way. And pull that off. Disconnect the connector right here. Just push on this tab, release it. I'm just using a pick just to help, or you could just push with your finger. Disconnect that. It's for one of the coolant temp sensors. Now, using a straight blade screwdriver, there's a clip right up here for the hose. We're just going to pop this hose off. Push that clip out. Might have to twist it a little bit. Pull that out and just grab the hose and just wiggle it out. There we go. Pull that off. We're going to take this pipe off. I'm just going to use a straight blade screwdriver just under here, just to release this. Pop that off. And then same down below, you can use a straight blade screwdriver, pull that out. Now I'm going to use a T25 socket or bit and take this screw out. Take that screw out, and on the other side, same T25 socket. Take this screw out. Pull that out, and just grab this panel. It slides out. Disconnect the connector for the mass airflow sensor. I'm going to use a pocket screwdriver, straight blade screwdriver. Just pop that off. Just pull back on that tab slightly. I'm going to pop this clip off. You can use some hose clamp pliers or just some large pliers. Slide that off, out of the way. And this hose will pop off, just like that. Now I'm going to use a 5mm hex socket. Take this screw out. Or at least loosen it up. It is caged, so it's going to come out with the airbox. It's not going to separate. Just grab the airbox and lift up. There's just some grommets holding it in. And pull it out of the way. Now we're going to loosen up the worm clamp on this intake tube. Use a 7mm socket. And just loosen this up. Okay, that's good. You can follow this intake tube down and you can see where there's a bolt that's bracketed right to the engine block. We're going to take that bolt out. Use a T30 socket. Just going to reach down. The bolt is loose and it is a caged bolt, so it's going to stay with the pipe. Now take this screw out. Use the T30 socket. Just using a straight blade screwdriver, pop this clip back. You want this in service mode. That's good. And then just pull this pipe out. There might be some oil that comes out of there if the vehicle is sending a little oil through the intercooler, so just be careful. I'm just going to take a pick just to loosen this up near the throttle body, loosen the pipe up. Just get in there. That's loosened up at least. You can push this down, push it off the throttle body. All right, that's loose. You can take that off. We'll get it off from underneath. And just grab the tube. And there's a connector right here. We want to disconnect that connector. Disconnect this connector here. I'm just going to use a straight blade screwdriver. Push back on the tab. And slide that off. There we go. I'm going to take this hose off. I'm just going to use a pick. Just get underneath the clip right here. You can take the clip off completely or just get it into the service position. There we go. Just grab the hose, give it a wiggle. Oh, you're gonna lose a little coolant. You know, let that drain. Now we're gonna take the bolt out for this bracket. I'm gonna use a triple square socket. This is a M9 socket. In there. Get that loose, and we can take that bolt out. Take that out. You could just push this out of the way slightly so that you can access that bolt. The thermostat has two bolts. There's a bolt right here and over there. This one, you're gonna need a 5mm hex key. Or if you have one of the ends that has a rounded end so that you can get in there at an angle, there is different sockets that you can use that work for that. But a small hex key will work. Just get under here, just get this loose. Let's get that loose. If you can use the rounded end, that works. All right. Now that's loose right there. There it is. There's the bolt. Now we'll take the other one out and use a T30 socket for the other one. That one's a little easier to access. Unscrews pretty easily. Take that out. Now make sure you have a drain bucket underneath just in case any coolant comes out. Just grab the thermostat housing and just pull it down. There's the housing. The thermostat is still up there. You can grab the thermostat and pull that out. Now take the thermostat. I'm going to slide this into the water pump housing, get it close, and then take the thermostat housing. Get that lined up. You can actually look inside the housing and just make sure the thermostat is lined up in there. And then we'll push this the rest of the way up. Now I'm gonna get the bolt started. And once the other screws started, I'm gonna put the other one in. And I'm just pushing it up with a pry bar just to get that centered. And snug those down. All right, that's snug. And we're going to torque these to 79 inch-pounds. And we'll just snug that one down. Get as close to 79 inch-pounds as possible. It's good. Take the bolt. Get the bolt started. And I'll tighten this down. Just snug that up. It's good. I take this hose. We can reattach the clip if you took it out, or just put it back into regular mode. And line this up. Might have to twist it back and forth a little. And try pulling it down if you're not sure if it's clipped in. I'll take the lower hose, lock that in place, get that started. Push that on. Take this connector, connect that to one of the coolant temp sensors, and take the auxiliary water pump, hook the hoses up. Move the hose clamps. Just move those in position. That's good. Slide it into the bracket and get the bolt started. All right, that's snug. Take the connector, connect the connector, and take the hose, put the hose together. Move the hose clamp. It's good. Take this hose. And just slide it up. I'm going to go over the throttle body at the top. Just push it on the best you can. Okay, we're gonna get that pushed in. I'll slide this in place in the intercooler. Lock that in. And get these bolts started. Make sure they're both lined up. And get this bolt started. If you can reach further up, I'm gonna try to get that bolt started. But we can do that up top. I'll just snug this down. Snug that down. Take the connector, line that up, lock it down. Now I'll take this. I'm going to slide the bracket, so one's going to come down, this is going to go up, this is down, this is up, this is down, up. Get that slid in place. That's good. Now I'll put the screws in. Get those started. Should be another one right there on the other side. And one more in the middle, and we'll snug those down. Now I take this shield, get this lined up. And just push it on. You can use a rubber mallet if you need to. Push the sides in place. Good. Now put these screws in and snug them down. And from up top, use the T30 socket, tighten this pipe down. That's good. And now we're going to tighten this down. Snug that down, give it a wiggle, that's good. Take this air duct, get this lined up, get the screws started. Tighten that down, and do the same on the other side. And put the airbox in, get that lined up. Go around that hose right there. Get the screw lined up over there. And also the tube, intake tube. Slide that over. That's good. Push that down, tighten that down. Tighten that down, and I'll use some pliers and just move the clamp. connector, lock it down. And take this tube, get this lined up, lock it in place, and just lock it down. And you want to add the proper coolant. Take the cap off the reservoir, fill it up to where the max line is right here. Then you want to start the vehicle, let it run for about a minute, top off if you need to add any more coolant, then put the cap on. Run the vehicle for about 15 minutes, monitoring it, making sure the engine's not overheating. Have the heat on low and make sure you feel heat coming out. Once the engine's up to operating temperature, shut the vehicle off, let it cool down, double check the fluid level, and adjust accordingly.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.